Hi, everybody. I'm here. I have a hard time figuring out how to go from what I've created before this to actually going live without creating a new video. So I guess I have to edit, and then it's just weird. I'm gonna have to play around with it, but um, I don't think anybody's watching anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm a little bit messy today. I'll have to clean up a little bit. Last week was more of a yoga video, and part of that was a little test for myself because I used to teach yoga to see if I still want to teach yoga or not. And my heart's not in it. I just want to teach resistance stretching. And partially because that's mostly what I need. I need the resistance stretching so that I can do the yoga. so, um, yeah, for me, it's a maintenance thing, and I'm almost doing these videos just as to be. It's kind of a selfish thing for myself because I really need to stretch and I need to foam roll. So, anyway, um, whether you watch now or stream later, today you will need a foam roller. I recommend the high density ones, but if you don't have a high density one, that's fine. If you don't have a foam roller, then just wait for about 15 minutes and then we'll get into the stretching stuff. So yeah, we're just going to do resistance stretching today. And if that kind of morphs into some yoga as we go, then so be it. But we are going to start today with foam rolling. So if you have your foam roller, I know for me, I try to do it. I should be doing it every day, especially my quads, but it is painful, so I don't really want to do it. I usually wait until I'm in pain, and then this takes the pain away. But if we do it every day, then it'll be less and less painful each time. So I'm going to get the foam roller out. I'm just going to sit on it, and I'm going to sit in the middle of it and tip my knees to the side and roll up and down my glute. I hope you can hear me. I think I'm connected. And we're just going to roll up and down on this glute. Make sure you get all the way up near the hip bone because there are little muscles up there. You've got, the big glute muscle, the big house, and then underneath it you've got they call them this deep six. And everybody always complaining about their piriformis being tight. That's kind of in the middle underneath the glute maximus. And then if you go down a little lower, then you've got all these other external rotators that are really kind of close to the sit bone. So get into those. Just feel it out. Feel what you're feeling. And if you want to get a little bit deeper into those deep six, then cross your ankle over. So the ankle that's crossed over is the side that I'm rolling. A lot of people want to do it the other way. It's not really going to help you. So make sure it's the side that you're rolling that's crossed over. And if you find a knot in there, just kind of, I've got one down low. I'm just going to kind of wiggle around on it a little bit. And then get way up high. Maybe roll even more to the side. And then we will switch sides. I seriously, I can spend half hour, 45 minutes on this thing, just rolling out different parts of my body. But I'm going to try to keep it like 15 minutes today. So other side, rolling up and down. I am definitely not as tight on this side, so I need to open it up a little bit more by crossing that ankle over the opposite knee. Get all the way up there and all the way down. And again, once you get down to the bottom, you can kind of move this way and see what you feel. You may feel some muscles in there. I was just reviewing these muscles the other day, and there's like the gemellus, the obturator, greater and lesser, and or maybe it's the gemellus, greater and lesser. I can't even remember them all. There's so many muscles in there. There's a quadratus. I don't know. I can't remember the name of it. But I was researching because I've got some tightness on this side in that area. And I can't tell you which one it is because they're all about the same size and they're all about the same place. But they're quite literally a pain in the butt when you get tightness there. And I think, especially for the piriformis, this is one of the best ways to release the tension is to just turn that muscle off, which is what we're doing right now. We're massaging it. The muscle kind of like lets go, hopefully, due to the pressure. And then we're going to hit the quad next. So we're going for the big muscles first, and we'll work our way into the smaller muscles. So for the quad, nobody's favorite, although one of my favorites. Sorry, my bird's making noise in the background. You're going to hop on this thing, just in the front. For some of you, just rolling up and down is going to be excruciating enough. For me, I like to do one leg at a time. But it is good to start this way because then you can kind of feel it out and sense which leg is tighter. Do I have things going on in the front of my quad? I do. And if you do, spend some time there. You can go fast or slow. I prefer a little slower. And I have taken classes where they would just inch along. So it all works. I'm going to roll to the outside of my right quad and roll up and down here. I am not quite on my IT band. You can be on your IT band if you want to. But I will tell you right now, the IT band, if anybody tells you to foam roll your IT band, really what they're telling you to do is foam roll the muscles around your IT band because the research shows that IT band is hard connective tissue. It doesn't really respond to massage like soft tissue does. And the length you're going to gain is like so minimal. It's not going to make a difference. But foam rolling the muscles around the IT band tend to make the IT band feel looser, which may help you if you have like knee issues, if you've got IT band syndrome. Rolling these muscles will help you. Because the IT bands are literally it's a tendon. I know I brought that up numerous times in the classes. But it doesn't respond to massage. The muscles around it do. And that may make it feel like it's loosening up. And you can kind of roll to the side, but you also kind of get in the middle there, right in between the front and the side. Or go all out. Go roll right on that IT band. See how that feels. Doesn't feel good. Sometimes I feel like I'm rolling on a bone. It's not a bone, but that's what it feels like to me. All right, and then we're going to switch sides. So hop on that other quad, roll up and down. Also getting a little bit of core here. We're doing this. Put your leg in front if it's just too much for you to handle. I didn't mention that on the other side. Sorry about that. I think I kind of do it sometimes without thinking about it. So I used to teach resistance stretching classes live in person, and I had about half the crowd would just gripe and complain whenever I'd say, "We're getting the foam rollers out today," and the other half would say, "Oh, great, good, good, good. I need it." But I think everybody needs it, especially if you're not getting a regular massage. And for these quad muscles and glute muscles, it's almost better than getting a massage because if you're on a table, unless you're getting a Thai massage, um, or a macchiato or something like that, they just don't have the leverage standing up with you on a table. So this really works just as well, not better. And then we are going to get into, we're going to do a little bit of inner thigh. No, you guys don't really probably think about rolling your inner thigh, but you may be surprised that you're tight there. So we're going to take the foam roller out to the side, and I am going to come down to my elbows. I'm going to take my knee out to the side, put on the foam roller, and then I'm going to roll out. I'm going to move it in a little bit and roll right into the groin. So yeah, some of you might just be like, "Oh my gosh, I never knew I was tight there." Well, now you know. And for me, this muscle seems to kind of loosen up a little bit faster than the quad muscles and the glute muscles. So if you just want to kind of hold there for a moment, go for it. And then you just have time, we will switch sides. I'm rolling on the other side. So I've got my foam roller up underneath my leg, and I'm rolling right into the groin. I'm going to move it to sunlight. You can see a little bit better. So I'm right in there. Whew. Tighter than I thought. And then we're going to do a little bit of calf. I just want to show you a technique. Some of you may get tightness. If you have glute tightness and you have lateral hamstring tightness, um, probably the outside of your calf may get a little tight. And especially if you're a runner, this is or a cyclist. This is what I like to do for my peroneal muscles, run right along the edge. It's just kind of lean into it. You could put one leg out to the side and lean into it and just kind of roll it up and down. It's a great way to get into those peroneals. These muscles I do prefer to have somebody massage it for me, but this works pretty well. And then switch sides. And then after this, we are going to get into the calves. I'm going to give you two options. One would be a foam rolling, and then the other is going to be a self-massage technique that I put in a short video on here yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. But we're going to spend a little bit more time on it. So first option for calves, I know we're going over the 15 minutes that I said, but sorry. First option is just cross your legs. Your calf is on top of the foam roller, and you'll have to lift your hips up and roll up and down. And I would say you're going to have to kind of move around from the inside to the outside if you're doing it this way. It works. It's just a lot of effort to hold yourself up. At least I think it is. I mean, I'm enjoying the pressure on the calf. I'm just not enjoying holding myself up the entire time. So If you don't enjoy that either, you might find this is a better option. I'm on my hands and knees, and I'm going to cross my shin over my calf, the bottom part of my calf, and I'm going to sit back, and then I'm going to move it up, and move it up. Just kind of inch it up. And once you get about halfway up, you're going to notice there's a lot of tension there, where that gastrocnemius starts crossing over the soleus. And that's where you really want to spend some time. If it's too painful, don't sit back so far. If you like, wiggle around a little bit. Get all the way up there. Behind the knee. And then walk it back down again. If you have a locked up calf, sometimes my soleus gets locked up. And I've had it happen to me in the middle of a run. And it's so annoying. I mean, to continue to run with your calf locked up like that is just, it's terrible. So occasionally I've had to stop and do this. The first time it ever happened, I found a park bench and I thought, well, I'll just stretch it out. Well, that didn't work. And then I tried stretching it again, and that didn't work. So finally, I ended up getting down on the grass and doing this, and that worked. This worked. So they say, if you've got a locked up muscle, we're going to switch sides. If you've got a locked up muscle or an overactive muscle to the point where it's almost spasming, you need to calm it down first before you stretch it. And it's like a trigger point release. So you got to do the release first and then stretch. So I'm moving it up slowly into the middle. I'm going to wiggle around a little bit. I get people complaining about this one too, but there is a hurt so good type of feeling about it. Or eventually there should be. And then we'll start inching the way back down. Are we having fun yet? I probably won't do the foam rolling every week unless somebody tells me they like it and they want me to. You can even catch, on this one, you can even catch the bottom of your foot. If you cross the top of your foot over the shin, or over the arch of the other, and sit back. That is an excellent way to get into the arch of the foot. So if you're digging this, then you might want to try that as well. spend some time with it. I'm not going to spend much time with it here because we need to get to some stretching. All right, we are going to start today on your back, and you may need a strap, depending. So we're going to start on the back. Arms out to the side. Rock the knees from side to side for a bit. And then grab behind the right thigh with your hands. And we're going to stretch the other leg out. Draw your knee into your chest as far as you can. Kick up and point flex. About 10 times. Circle around a few times and circle around the other direction. And then we'll switch sides. So left knee into the chest, right leg extended. Kick it up toward your head. Your leg will not be straight. That's okay. Unless you're really flexible, and then maybe it will be. But mine isn't, as you can see. Point and flex. So I don't want you to go like that just to get your leg straight. I want you to just keep it in toward your chest. Circle around. And the other direction. We're going to start out with that lateral quad stretch. So take your leg out to the side, 45-degree angle away from your body, 90-degree bend or more in your knee. Cross the other ankle over, push the ankle into the knee. Knee pushes into the ankle and rotate in and open. If you want more quad stretch, bring your heel in closer to you. Try to keep your hips from popping up as you rotate in. I know it'll pop up a little bit. Just try to minimize it. Just pull your core in. We're going to do 2 more. And then we're going to move right into a glute stretch. So keep that figure 4 that you have and lift both of your feet up. Take your right hand through the hole that you've created, left hand around the back of the thigh. I'm going to push my right ankle into my knee. So I'm going to create tension there. And I want you to create enough tension so that your whole upper body comes along. And then hold that tension and pull back with your arms and bring the knee to the chest. So we're moving forward and back. This is not an abdominal workout. It has nothing to do with your abdominals. It's all this pushing of the ankle into the thigh. And then I'm going to have you take your left hand, grab the foot, you're not able to do it, take a strap, grab the strap. Got a loop here somewhere, like that. Hold it like that. Flex your foot. So I want you to pull your toes back toward your shin and then push out with your foot. That'll kind of naturally happen. But otherwise, you're just going to grab the outside of your foot and then drag it across to the left. Try to push this entire leg away from your head. And that should get into that piriformis and some of those rotators. And then we're going to work on the other side. So right leg out to the side, 45-degree angle away from the body. Left ankle crosses over. I'm going to push the ankle into the thigh, rotate in, and open. If this bothers your knee, just don't go that far. Work within the range of motion that is not hurting you. I have a little bit of a patellar issue with this knee, and it does not, I should say, it doesn't feel terrible, but it doesn't feel great. Probably with a heel closer to me, it's feeling better on my knee. But I remember when this issue years and years ago used to be a lot worse, and I would reach a point where it was almost like a stabbing pain. And what I did was, to get through this stretch, I stopped about right here. And then gradually over time, it just kind of got better and better, and I was able to go a little bit farther. And I can't say why. It just kind of corrected itself. And then we're going to do a couple more of these. And then we'll do the figure 4 glute stretch. So left hand goes through the hole, right hand goes around the back of the thigh. Push the left ankle into the thigh. Let it drag your body forward. So my upper body is just coming along for the ride. I'm holding on tightly to the back of that thigh. And then I'm going to use my upper body to pull it back. But my legs are still moving out. So there should be tension between the upper body. The upper body is kind of it's the counterweight. It's providing the resistance. And then I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got my hand, I'm going to grab the outside of my foot, or use a strap around your foot. That works too. But flex your toes. So pull your toes back toward your shin. And then we're going to, this leg can just go out. I'm going to drag this across the body. Like that. I'm pushing the foot out. So I'm holding it steady with this right hand. Okay. We're going to come up. Trying to reposition my microphone. And we're going to do a couple more lower body stretches. And then I think we might do some upper body. And then come back to lower body. So let's do calf. Hip flexor and hamstring. So for calves today, I want you to, well, you're going to want a rolled up blanket or something. You could use your mat. But we're not going to do that just yet. But we're going to come on our hands and knees, tuck the toes under, press the hips up and back, pedal your heels into the mat. Lift the heels, shift forward. Shift back, slowly lowering the heels, and tilt your tailbone up. Press your chest back toward your thighs. Lift again. Shift back, chest back toward the thighs. Try to lift your toes up. So we're just shifting back and forth. Really try to maximize that stretch as you get to the end by tilting the tailbone up, pressing the belly and the chest with the thighs, and lifting the toes if you can. And then we're going to feet together. Lift the left leg. I'm going to lift it and lower it about 5 times. If you like this exercise, you can do more. A lot of times I'll do about 20 or hold it here and lift up and down on the ball of the foot. About 5 times or more. For this one, I think repetition is better than switch side. As you bring that leg up, you can feel the tension in the calf increase, right? And that is the fascial pull. As the leg goes up, all those muscles are getting stretched because this leg's going the opposite direction. So, and then lift and lower about 5 times. And then we're going to walk the feet forward. I've got my rolled up blanket. You could just roll up your mat as well. And I'm going to stand. I'm going to bring my block around. You could use a chair. And I'm going to stand with the balls of my feet on this blanket. My toes are pointed forward, so I don't want you to have your toes out to the side like duck feet. I want you to actually turn them in a little bit. And lift to the chest. Lean forward and reach for your block or your chair or whatever you've got. Some of you flexible people might be able to reach the floor. That's great. But if it's rounding the back, then I want you to come back up again until you're not rounding your back. I want you to tilt your tailbone up. Bring your belly down toward the floor. And then we're going to do one more calf stretch. Since we did all that foam rolling, I feel like I might as well take advantage of it. So I'm going to take my block and I'm going to put it on the blanket like this. So it's a 45-degree angle on the blanket. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to put it on the other side. No, you can't really see it any better. It's okay. So I'm going to put the ball of my foot on this block. This is actually a yoga pose that I'm turning into a resistance stretch. I'm going to square my hips to the front. There's about 2 or 3 feet between my feet. You might need more. Lift your chest. Lean forward. Try to keep the chest lifted and the back is concave until you feel a stretch and then pull out of it. So this should be both a hamstring stretch and calf stretch. So as you come forward, we want to just go to the point where your back is still remaining flat. If you're starting to round, then you've gone too far. Also try to pull the left hip back, or right hip back, left hip forward. And then we'll just take the hands down to the block and bow. This is not a resistance stretch unless you're pressing the ball of your foot into the block, which you don't have to do right now. Not every stretch has to be like super powered. And then we'll switch legs. So the ball on the ball of the foot on the block, heels on the floor. Get my back foot about 2 or 3 feet back, turning my hips so that they are squared. And then I'm going to puff my chest out and lean until I feel a stretch. So I'm just pulling in and out of this pyramid pose. And then go ahead and take your hands down. And come on up. Okay, next, some upper body stuff. I'm sitting on a block. You can just sit on the floor or chair or whatever. I'm going to do a couple for people that have if anybody has rotator cuff issues. A lot of times, at the end of class, especially like cycling classes and stuff, they'll take the arm across the body and just kind of like pull it. Not so good if you have a rotator cuff tear or injured rotator cuff. I like to do just hold the elbows, push the elbows out. You're holding the arm steady like that, and then rotate from side to side. And just go until you feel a stretch. And then take your arms up. I'm going to interlace my fingers above my head, and I'm going to press my palms together and imagine the fingers pulling apart. So arms above the head, don't let it fall. And then I'm going to bring my elbows towards each other and then open. I know this seems really simple, but it has a really nice therapeutic effect on the rotator cuff for the most people. I have a shoulder injury right now, and this one feels really good. And then we're going to take the palm straight up. So straighten the arm and pull the fingertips back toward the forearm. Imagine you are carrying a big tray. That's where we want to be. We push the palm away And I'm going to tilt my head toward the left. And I'm going to make a big circle, stretching the palm away, bring it around, and all the way down. And do that again. Do it about 3 times. So I'm tilting my head away, stretch it around, and then the other side. So push the palm up, fingertips back, and tilting my head to the right. Just really, really pushing the palm away. And then bring the right arm behind you, pull it over with the left, roll the shoulder back a few times. And then work the hand up the back. Left arm goes up and over. Try to touch the fingers if you can. You can also use a strap for this one. And then switch sides. So bring the left arm over. Roll the shoulder down and back a few times. And then work the hand up the back. Take the right arm up and behind and see if you can touch your fingers. This is not a resistance stretch, but I guess it can be if you interlace your fingers and you tug and push and pull back the other way. Not everything has to be a resistance stretch, right? And release. Let's see how much time we have left here. Okay, we do have a little bit of time left. So I want to get, I'd like to get a little bit of inner thigh. Now, if you have socks, this is a great one to do with socks. Otherwise, you can use blankets. I'm going to try to demonstrate without using socks. So I'm on a hard surface. But we're going to, if you've got a chair, this is great. You can put it in front of you. But if not, just hands on the mat. So I'm going to slide my feet out until I feel a stretch. And then I'm going to pull my feet back in again. So I'm sliding out and pulling back. If I had socks, or if I had my blankets underneath, or if you're on carpet, it's a little bit easier, but it's also harder because your feet don't really slide on it. You could use the gliders, furniture gliders, paper plates, frisbees. So out and in like this. And if this is not working for you, this is my favorite way to do inner thigh. But if this is not working for you, then you can do it the old-fashioned way. I like to do it this way too. On your back, feet up, open. Press open with your hands as you draw the heels together. Keep pressing the heels together and let your arms win and open up. For some of you, this is going to be a real struggle because you're not able to keep your legs straight. That's okay. Just bend. Just bend at the knee. That's fine. Well, one of the reasons I'm doing this is because we did glutes, we did abductors. So I wanted to do adductors. And we did central hamstring. So now we're going to do hip flexor. So all of these on the leg, they kind of form a T, what we call the T quadrant. So Abductors go out, out. Adductors go in. Hip flexor goes forward. Central hamstring goes backwards. So it makes a T on the leg. And then we have the X quadrant. I've gone into some of that with the other videos, but as a class today, I'd like to hit all those parts. So we're going to do hip flexor next. And it'll be the kneeling hip flexor stretch. You can do this one if it really bothers you to be on your knee. You can do this with a chair, and I'll show you how to do it. I've got the chair. So you're going to put your foot up on the chair. You're going to bend the back knee a little bit, posterior tilt, keep that posterior tilt, and shift forward and back. That is a great way to get into your hip flexor. So if it bothers your knee to be on the floor, by all means, do it that way. If you're out in the park running and you want to do, sometimes when I, back in my running days, not running so much anymore, kind of after a mile or two stretch to get things loosened up, that's really great to do on a park bench. So kneeling version, tailbone under, belly in and up. I'm going to scissor my legs together, shift forward and back. And then I'm going to bring the foot in a little bit, turn and lean. If you're wanting more of this type of stretching, I do have in my homepage playlist one on opening the pelvic stretches. It'll be in there if you're interested. And then switch legs. So now the left leg is forward, right leg is back. Scissor the inner thighs together, belly in and up, tailbone under. Keep that contraction going, shift forward and back. And then I'm going to bring the foot in a little bit. I'm turning my hips to the side, to the right. I'm going to keep my tailbone turned under as I lean and reach. So we want to keep pulling the pubic bone up toward the belly as you do this. And kind of push this knee open. Great. And next we are going to do quad. One's not for everyone, especially if you can't be on your knee. But we're going to do it, and I'm going to do it against the wall. I've got my blanket up against the wall. If you are not very flexible, move the blanket away from the wall somewhat. And you may need something to hang on to. You can use your foam roller for this. Right now, I'm going to get on my hands and knees. I'm going to bump my knee up onto the blanket. My foot is up the wall. And I'm going to bring my other foot forward. If that doesn't work for you, start like this. So knee on the blanket, you're facing to the right. Left leg's out in front. Hand on whatever is going to stabilize you, and then flip the foot up. Push the foot into the wall, and you should have a good quad stretch. And you can push your foot into the wall, shift forward and back. But sometimes I just kind of like to be here a little bit. And kind of make a mental note. Am I getting more stretch when I'm here as I shift forward? Am I getting more stretch when I'm back? Am I getting more stretch in the middle? You may want to spend a little more time in one of those areas, depending on where you're tight. For me, it's all of it. But this is a great one because you're getting a stretch the whole time, all the way in and out of it. I'd say a good number is 10 repetitions, that is. And then switch sides. So again, to demonstrate how to get into this from the side, my foot is behind me. It's angled that way. This knee is open. I'm going to flip my foot up the wall. And there's your stretch. Push the foot into the wall to shift forward and keep pushing it into the wall as you move back. So this is another one that sometimes my knee will feel it a bit, but afterwards it feels better. You're just going to have to make that judgment on your own. I mean, I'm not saying that this is a stretch that you should be doing if you have a knee injury. Check with your doctor about that, but sometimes some of these things kind of feel painful because I've got some knots in one of my quad, and when I'm doing this stuff, it doesn't feel great on my knee, but then afterwards it feels fantastic. So you just have to kind of trial and error, figure it out what works for you and what doesn't. I have had a lot of classes teaching resistance stretching, and I've had a lot of older people in classes that never thought they'd be able to get themselves in this position, but once they're in it, they're like, "Oh wow, I've never stretched like that before. I've never stretched my quads that far," and I really think it's beneficial to most people. It's been a rare occasion that I have had somebody that cannot get into this stretch, but if you are one of those that just cannot manage it, here's an alternative for you. This is not a resistance stretch. It'd be something that you'll have to just hold. But you like this, you're going to take your knee out to the side, take your strap, hook it around your foot if you can. And you're going to roll to the side and pull. So that's another option. And I think we're almost out of time. Yes, we are. Any requests for next week? More intense, less intense? More yoga, less yoga? I'm up for all that stuff. I just feel like this is for me. This is what I need. This is what my body needs, just to recover from workouts and day-to-day life as I get older. So, anyway, that's about it. I haven't even looked at the comments. Thank you, Samerson. I'm gonna keep doing these every week if I can. So I'll be back next week, and yeah, it'll probably be more resistance stretching, maybe less foam rolling, more resistance stretching next week. But if you like the foam rolling, then let me know. Okay, that's it for today. Bye-bye.